right, guys, welcome back. It is Monday, September 6th, another busy, packed week. Let's just get right into it. Got one of my dear friends here. You probably know her, but just in case you don't, I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell you who she's with. So, my friend, if you wouldn't mind.
I'm Nicki Redding, and I'm with Victoria Gymagic. I'm the general manager over there, and I'm here to talk about an event we have coming up.
So, this is a cool event, and I want to get into it. But before we do, let's go back a little bit. Tell me about Gymagic. You know, what in the... If I'm just driving by, I don't have kids, I don't know anything about this place, talk to me, sell me on it, tell me what it is.
So Victoria Gymagic, it's been open for 25 plus years here in Victoria Crossroads community, and we're a TNT gym. What TNT is, it's trampoline and tumbling. So a lot of people associate gymnastics with Simone Biles. What she does, that's artistic. So we're actually on a different spectrum of gymnastics. We do trampoline and tumbling.
Gotcha. And I forgot, for those that haven't paid attention, you can go back and rewind and look through our playlist and find the Gymagic episode we did of Meet Victoria. It was a ton of fun. You get to see me do all these acrobatic, amazing tricks and turns and pretty much just tumbles, honestly. It was just the tumbles, but it was still a ton of fun. And make sure you check out that episode. If I remember, I'll try to post it down below. But yeah, so tumbles, trampoline. These aren't like your backyard trampoline you go buy at Walmart.
Absolutely not.
These are these trampolines that will shoot you through the stratosphere if you're not careful, and you will
correct.
fall on the outside, or like me and just launch right off of one into the pit there. Tell me a little bit about that, what the difference is and why this is more than just jumping on trampolines, and what the skill and talent is involved in all this.
So a lot of kids experience black bed trampolines. So what we actually train on and compete on are called European beds. They're woven differently. They're like turbo trampolines. So they
That's a good
bounce,
word, turbo trampolines.
Because it flung you right off.
Yeah, that's a little
so
spooky.
it definitely bounces higher, absorbs the impact different when they bounce, and so it is definitely a turbo trampoline that they're competing on. All of our routines have 10 skills. So they have 10 skills to put on a bed, and that's a routine. So unlike other gymnastics, if they interrupt and fall off, they're able to get back on. In trampoline, you are not. Once you interrupt, you're done.
Wow.
So you could be training, these Olympians can be training and get up there, and if they stop on skill 3, they're done. That's it. You went, you trained for stop on skill 3. So it's you put all you can, the hardest stuff that you've got in 10 skills, and that's what you have. And that's about 25 seconds of routine that you train for.
Gotcha. And these athletes can start with Gymagic, and as they progress and continue to learn skills and level up, they have an opportunity to try to compete and go not just, at local competitions, but up nationally and then into the Olympics as well, correct?
Absolutely. So at Gymagic, we have a competition team that does like local competitions, and then we also have our elite team that does national and international competitions. Krista McNary, she's actually an East high schooler. She will be going to Baku in November for Worlds. She's actually going to compete for Team USA representing a senior elite for Team USA.
Wow.
Right here from Victoria, Texas, going to an international competition. So yes.
Wow, and you were kind of briefly telling me before we went on camera is that, this is an ultra, the Olympics by itself is obviously, for the elite of the elite, but it's even harder than that to just get in because there's only a handful of spots.
Only a handful of spots.
Tell me about that.
So like for Krista, for her case, there's 4 girls going. That's it, like 4 girls going for her age group from the United States. So whenever you get selected, it's a very small handful of spots that are even available when you go to worlds, international competitions. Now, when you go to the Olympics, we only get 16 spots. That's everybody in the whole world, 16 spots. So America's not even actually guaranteed a spot to the Olympics. So you have to earn your spot at international competitions and point. So you have point meets that you get points at, and that's how you get into the Olympics. And so these guys who train nationally and internationally are just not guaranteed a spot because they won nationals or they won a competition. They actually have to get enough points to earn that spot to be able to go.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so with this event you have coming up, how does this all tie in, and what are some of the exactly you guys doing?
Yeah, so something that's really cool is K&L, we're actually a really tight-knit community, the TNT, because we're kind of the smaller side of artistic is huge. Everybody knows Simone Biles. So with this, we're all pretty close-knit in TNT, so we all know each other. We really do want the program and the sport to grow. So we've always worked really well with Dmtri Polarousch. He is an Olympian himself. He is also the place where you send your kids when they're ready to go to the Olympics. He really is that point where you go and you train with him to get you see yourself ready. So he turns amazing athletes to Olympians. That is that turning point. We have a really good working relationship with him. He comes down, does clinics with us. We send our kids up there. They do clinics with him and train with him. And so when they got back from Tokyo, he said, well, I'm going to take our Olympians on tour. So they're hitting different towns and states, and we're on one of their stops to come here to Victoria.
Outstanding. And so we have one and possibly two Olympians that are coming, if I understand correctly, correct?
Yes.
Cool. Tell me about who's guaranteed and then who we might possibly have.
So Alexi Shostak, he actually is Belarusian. He's from Belarus.
You said that well enough for me. I'm not going to correct you on it because I'd have to say it better. Well done.
Yeah,
yes.
They're like Russian. Anyways, he grew up here in America, though. Both of his parents are actually Olympians, and the cool story is his parents are really close with Dmtri, and they're like, we want our kid to be an Olympian, and so he's been training underneath Dmtri for years, and he's an amazing athlete. When he is on point. It's really cool to see the power that can come from him when he is jumping on a trampoline. And so he secured the male spot for the Olympics, and he went to Tokyo and competed. And so we're going to get to see him. He does come down a lot more. We do get Alexi and Victoria a lot more. He comes down, helps co-coach with us. Just kind of seeing things from a different perspective. It's when you're coaching and you're involved in a sport, it's always cool when you hear someone else's perspective. And you can have a kid trying to do a skill for a long time, and they're not getting it, and then all of a sudden he just says something different and it just snaps and they've got it. So it's always beneficial when they come. Nicole Azinger, this is actually Ahsinger. This is her second Olympics. She actually went to Rio, and then she went here, made it into finals. She may not be able to come because of a circumstance, but we are hoping to get her in here this week. So she's amazing to watch in the air as well. As a female athlete, she also grabbed that one seat. We did get to take two alternates with us for the women's side. The man, Alexi, he did not get any alternates, but we did secure two alternate seats for the women's side. So two women got to go. They didn't get to compete, but they did get to go to represent
Pretty
Team
awesome.
USA.
So at this exhibition, Saturday, it's this Saturday at 6 p.m., 4002 North Main Street. That's where Gymagic is.
Yes, across from Pinto Bean.
Good deal.
Everybody knows where Pinto Bean is on Main.
We're
right across from Pinto Bean.
What can they kind of expect to see?
So Dmtri is going to be speaking, and Dmtri is amazing. He is super knowledgeable on this sport. He is like the grandfather of the sport. He's definitely who brought it to America and really got it to grow and explain to our community, like, what is TNT gymnastics. And so him being an Olympian himself and also a coach, he is going to be speaking on a mic, and he's going to be explaining what skills are, what it's like to be in the TNT world as they jump and they go through their skills and explaining. And you're going to get to see the routines that they did at Tokyo.
Did you guys need me to do anything?
Oh, we'd love for you.
I've
yes,
got some
absolutely.
Outstanding routines.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'd like to actually see you and Alexi do synchro. I think y'all would do great at synchro.
I don't know if he'd be able to keep up with some of my moves,
I don't know either.
and I don't want to intimidate him. He's got things to focus on and all of that.
I know.
Real quick, in 30 seconds, if kids want to, or if parents want to, are thinking about putting their kids in, or they've thought about Gymagic, would this be a good thing
This
to
would
just
be
come
amazing.
and watch to kind of get a feel for
Absolutely.
everything and what's possible?
Absolutely, it's kind of coming. If you wanted to go and play golf, have the opportunity to see Tiger Woods. I mean, that would make you so excited to see the top field of that sport. And it's the same thing with this. To see a sport that you're interested in and seeing the top people in that game. Absolutely. And even if you're not into gymnastics and you're not wanting to do gymnastics, this would be a great opportunity to see. This is some amazing stuff that we're lucky and blessed to even have the opportunity to watch.
Outstanding. Well, thank you so much for coming on and talking about it and for having me in there to do the Meet Victoria episode. Guys,
Absolutely.
Again, this is at Gymagic, 4002 North Main Street, across from
Pinto Bean.
Pinto Bean, Saturday, September 11th at 6 p.m. We'll take a quick word from our sponsor and be back with the next one. probably know these faces, but just in case you do not, I am going to let them introduce themselves, tell you who they are with, and what exciting things they have coming up this week. So, without further ado, if you wouldn't mind, young lady.
Sure, I'm Danielle Williams. I'm the Executive Director of Victoria Main Street Program.
Outstanding.
And I'm Claire Santiano, the President of the Art League.
Outstanding. Well, you guys have something really cool coming up this week that is the second time you were doing this, because the first time was such a huge success and was such an awesome deal. And congratulations on putting it together, both of you, the first time, because I watched social media just explode with people down there and having a ton of fun, and people were so excited and just really loved it that I'm glad you're doing a second one. But tell them what it is. I just hyped you, got you all set up now. Tell them about what's coming up this week.
So with this next art walk we've got coming up, it's going to be from 4 to 10 p.m., so we extended the hours. We're going to have over 20 artists, over 20 businesses and over 50 artists.
Outstanding. Is that an improvement from last time?
It is. The last time we were at 16 and 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
So for the ones that were out of town or sleeping under a rock or a bridge somewhere and happened to miss this, what is an art walk, and what is this thing that you guys are doing?
So basically it's a collaboration between us and the Art League and the local artists in town, to where we want to feature all the downtown businesses and also the art talent that we have in our hometown. And so it's bringing the two together, and it really marries well, because you get people in downtown shopping, they can even buy some of the art, and then they also get to meet the artists and kind of see what their inspiration is and what really drives them to create such beautiful pieces of artwork.
And I like the way you guys have made it a collaboration between the businesses and the artists, and the whole downtown is, correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't the art stay in some of the businesses for a month or so while this is all going on?
Yeah, absolutely. So like in 700 Main and City Hall, we keep the artwork up for about a month. And that is optional for some of the businesses, because they can. And what's neat about that is if you didn't make it to the event, then you can always come back and look at the art, and then it just keeps growing and growing from there.
One, I think it's really neat the way that this puts a spotlight on so many different avenues. You've got the artists that are highlighted, which is really cool. You've got the downtown businesses that are getting the traffic, and well, everybody's getting the traffic. It's one of those circle of giving type things where the businesses are kind enough to open it up and allow the artists in, and then and it all works together. Where did the idea for this come from, and how did this little brainchild? I feel like we talked about this already, but I want to hear it again.
Well, it's not really a new concept. There are other cities that do this, and so from Main Street world, Abilene puts on a really good one, and there's other folks that have done it. So we basically took their model, and I know Claire has experience from Colorado and doing one up there. So we were like, why not Victoria? And she has worked tremendously on recruiting all these artists, and it's been a fun event to put together.
Well, that's something, the arts are a lot of times, when you're younger, you don't really, I'll get to that. Well, as I've gotten older in life, I've really come to appreciate it a lot more, and the talent and skills that these require. And I think it's really a cool thing how you're able to tie it in, because downtown's obviously someplace we want to show off, and a good, vibrant downtown is good for everybody. And so you get this whole deal of combining, like the trolley, for example. I thought that was just such a phenomenal touch, and it had to be one of the winners on social media too, because I just saw that trolley everywhere, and I think it's Mr. Constantine that provides that, and he does just an excellent job with that. And so, what am I forgetting? Tell me a little bit more. What are some? Give me a few little highlights of this deal this week.
So I don't know if you want to take this or not.
Some of the highlights for the art walk, we do have a map that's created, and we are going to really try to have QR codes that people can scan at each location. And if they check in at each color code, basically, so you don't have to literally go to all of the businesses, because there's quite a few, but you could go to businesses 1 through 3 that are red, just pick one of them, and if you go to one of those and one of the orange ones and one of the yellow ones, you will be entered in a drawing for some prizes.
Outstanding.
And
well, let's talk about that a little bit. So how do they where's the best place to go to find the information for the art walk this week? Would it be Facebook or?
Yes, well, there's a website, the www.vtxartwalk.com.
Okay, vtxartwalk.com.
Yep.
Okay.
And the same thing on the Facebook. It's VTX Art Walk.
Gotcha. Now, where this map, they can find it on the website?
They will be able to, they will be able to find it pretty shortly.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure you guys, you want people to take their friends, encourage the good old selfies, take some pictures with the art. Are you allowed to do that, or am I going to tell everybody and then they get in trouble? Don't take pictures of the art. Are they allowed to do that?
At the last event, I think a lot of them really appreciated that. They really got it was exciting for them because finally they were able to, get out and show their art after COVID and being closed down, but then two, to kind of feel that extra specialness, I guess, with like, hey, they really like my stuff and they want to take a selfie with me. I mean, I encourage it. I think it's really up to the artist, but I think a lot of them really appreciate that.
Well, and there's so much more talent in this town than what I bet people just have an idea of, because I saw some of the pieces and I was just blown away by that. And, we have the artists there, we have the performers at the Victoria Theater, we have, Victoria's very blessed to have a lot of talented artists in a lot of ways, and I think this art walk is just such a phenomenal way to get that out there and let people know about it. And once again, you all have done a phenomenal job. I'm sure there's zero stress in putting this together, and it's nice and easy. You can basically just phone the whole thing in and all of that. What have been some of the lessons learned from the first one to this one?
Well, one was the shuttles. So now that it has grown, we've added a third shuttle, and we're working on the route and stuff. So we'll have that available too on the map to show you where you can be picked up and dropped off.
Is that for somebody that may have trouble, walking from one site to another, or might be a little bit much for them?
And it's a little spread out too, right? Because we want people to go see the Art League and see what all services they offer, but then we also want them to go to the Nave or Five Points Museum and kind of highlight some of our, our artist museums downtown. But yeah, it's for everybody. 3 shuttles. We'll have a map and the drop-off locations. We've extended the hours again so that if you get off work and you want to spend more time, because that was something we noticed last time. People were showing up around 8:30 when we were going to shut it down at 9, and they're like, "Oh man, everything's closed." So now we're going to open it up. And then, hopefully, with the restaurants being open, because all the restaurants will be open as well.
Nice.
In downtown, you'll be able to go get some food, then mosey around. And some of the locations will also have treats and drinks and things for people to enjoy. And live entertainment. We're going to have lots of live entertainment performances at the Welder Center with the VC college students.
Nice.
And some performances at DeLeon Plaza as well.
Were the restaurants open the last go around, or is
Yeah.
this a new thing? Good. Well, I hear food, and that you got me there. You lead with that food, and you got me. What am I forgetting? Is there anything we haven't touched on that you want to make sure we get out and let people know about?
I think City Hall is going to be the center.
Yeah.
That's where the
Okay.
maps are. So if
Right.
you want a printed map, go to City Hall.
Yeah, City Hall is going to be our headquarters, and we're also going to have Friesen Nichols, our downtown master plan consultants there, and they're going to be showing all of their artwork, which will be our conceptual designs for the master plan. So all the catalyst projects that we're looking at and putting in downtown and proposing, you'll get to see an actual drawing of those on a big poster board. There's something like 20 easels of drawings that we're going to have down there, and it's kind of like an open town hall meeting. So everybody that comes, we want to hear their feedback on those drawings.
Nice. And you said that'll be at City Hall.
Yep.
Wonderful. Well, ladies, I appreciate it so much. Thank you for the hard work that goes into this. I know it's not an easy thing. I make jokes, but I know that that's a lot of work and probably a lot of herding cats and trying to get everything going in a general direction. But well done, And again, I know the community appreciated it. I know downtown appreciated it last time. And the passion and enthusiasm I hear from everybody about this, I haven't heard from many events in a while. And so this one, I think you guys have hit a home run, and I think this one will be a grand slam for you. So good job, ladies. We are going to take a final break and then be back with the man himself. We'll be right back.
Since 1932, Wallach & Volk has been closing mortgages and doing it the right way. The reason why the Volks opened up a bank at the height of the Great Depression was because the bank needed to be opened at the height of the Great Depression. And it was good for the community at that time. A lot of the banks were going under. In order to keep that community sound and stable, it was something that they did. I think that says something about who Wallach & Volk was 85 years ago. And the only way you get to continue to do it is if you consistently do it great. And we plan on doing this for another 85 years.
All right, guys, we are back. And my last guest, he needs no introduction. If you live anywhere in Victoria or the surrounding community, you know who this man is. But On that note, it is my honor to introduce Brother Gary Moses. Thank you to the show.
I need to shake your hand. Caleb, I think a lot of you, and you've been a friend for a number of years, and we've done stuff together. Honored to be here with you.
Well, thank you. It's an honor for me as well. And, you know, when I moved to Victoria, it wasn't very long before I kind of started going to events, and I started noticing a common denominator just about every event I went to in Victoria, and that was you.
Well, yeah.
And I'll never forget, it was at a 5K the first time when you said my name out loud, and because I noticed you knew everybody's name in this entire town, front to back and probably backwards. You knew their name, and you finally called my name out at a race, so I felt like I was officially a Victorian at that point. But it was real neat, and just right away, your presence stuck out before I even knew who you were, because your passion for Victoria events, and for supporting this community just shined. And it was a real honor for me to get to meet you. And for those that don't know your story, and I know we could probably drag this out into a whole episode, but for those that don't know your story or how you became Brother Gary Moses, what is the Cliff Notes version of that?
Well, a short version, and Caleb, thank you, and it was a pleasure meeting you at that run, and I could see you were a go-getter from day one, and being a veteran, which touches me too, it's in our family, and I just saw a fine young man, and you were going to do good things, and you have not failed us. You're doing those good things.
Thank you.
So we appreciate that. I went back, way back. I got my degree, came back to Victoria. Back in those days, you came back to your hometown. I got back to Victoria. I had a teaching job, 21 years old, going to be 22 my first year, and I got into this business of looking for a summer job. I got involved with recreation, some stuff for the school district, and it was events. And I was starting to organize events early in life, and working the ball games and everything. And then I got on the radio, and I started doing a bunch of things. This is early in my career, and it started then. And I got to a point where I was out there, knew the kids, and knew a lot of people, and one of the DJs way back when, I said, this guy, he's everywhere, and he knows everybody. You can't walk down the mall without him talking to 50 people in about 50 yards. And when that happened, he was on the radio called, you're everybody's brother, Brother Gary. And it started way back when. No divinity, but your brother, you know it?
Yes, sir. Well, no, and I think that's a title that's well earned, and it's, you know, I struggle with people remembering people's names that I met 5 minutes ago.
Oh, I
you
doubt
go
that.
back 30, 40 years with people, and you remember them, you remember their parents, you remember, you know, but your unwavering support for Victoria has been something that I've always just marveled at, and you know, and people always, there's nothing to do in Victoria, and this is, well, they don't know you then, because if they're bored, they should just spend a day with you, and they will find out how many different events that we have in this town that they're just not participating in, that they could follow you around and go to. What kind of keeps you going every day with that passion to get out there? Because I do not envy your schedule. You know, I see you start a lot of these, I know some on the weekends, you know, these 5Ks start at 6, 7 in the morning. You're out there starting this one, then you run over, you catch this one on the other side, then you're over at that one. How do you keep the energy and the charisma as you just go out there and do all these events?
Well, you said a lot of it, and I see it in you. You got to enjoy what you do, Caleb, and I do enjoy what I do. And I got in that school business, and I was around a lot of people, kids, and you got to be a motivator. You want to show that you're enjoying what you're doing so they'll enjoy what they do. And it's so important. And I just got into it, and I love what I did, and I just put 150% into it. And it's still to this day, and it's 5 decades worth, still to this day, I put the same amount of energy into everything, and I really do enjoy what I do, and people see it. You can't have a bad day. And I'm not going to have a bad day. There's too many days out there that you want to, all those days you want to enjoy. And we want to enjoy each and every one. So when I get asked to do it, it's a pleasure, an honor, makes me feel good, and I want to show them the best and help them as much as I can to help whatever they're doing.
Well, one of the things I like about you as a community figure is you kind of rise above everything. And what I mean by that is, you know, I'm very opinionated in my things. You know, I hate taxes, things like that. You know, I'm very strong in my opinions. What I think is really neat that you've been able to do is everybody loves you for you. I couldn't tell you which party you're in, which way you voted on anything, where any of that kind of stuff, because I know you as the man. And like you said, I've never seen you have a bad day. You've hugged my neck every time I've seen you. And we don't have to divide ourselves because our politics are the same or different or all these things. And I think that's a very positive thing that you bring to the community is the love without the judgment, or you know, the fact that I don't know anything about your beliefs on things, but I know you, and I think that's pretty neat the way that you're able to navigate your way through, and you're friends with everybody, this side, that side, the middle side, the top side, the bottom side, like you're friends with everybody, and I think that's a skill that's not everybody can do, because a lot of us are just so strong. Like, I have to get my opinion out there, and whereas you seem to just, hey, appreciate you. You thank people a lot, you know.
But there's a need for all types of people, and I was given that path to work with everybody and to help everybody, and we have to put certain things aside, and it doesn't affect me in any way. When I help, you need my help. We're not looking at anything else but this benefit. We do so many benefits, Caleb. You're aware of that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Benefits every week in organizations that need help. We're not worried about what's going on behind the scenes. We want to help you to get what you need done. But there is, Caleb, need for opinions on certain things, and those have to be put out there also to get certain things done too.
Yes, sir.
But I've been blessed to work with a lot of people, and the reception has been so good, and I thank the Lord for that He's allowed me to do this all these years and to work with so many people and to help people and to be asked. And every time I get asked, it touches me, and I'm honored. Like today and every day, to go to the many places that I go to, and I'm booked solid. I'm booked solid, and I again thank the Lord every day for that. So it's working with people, and if they see you genuinely want to work with them, they're going to bring you in every time. And they've heard it from others. We can't disappoint.
I could not agree more. And on that note, as we start getting ready to wrap up, you know, what are is there any events coming up this week or just in the near future that I missed? Any veteran stuff? Just anything in general that I might have missed coming up in our near future that you know about that I'm sure I don't?
Well, I want to bring up one point first. Thank you for your service.
Thank you,
I work very closely with the veterans, and I know that's what I want to bring up because I know you're in that business and you've been in that business, and you're here to help our veterans. Every Wednesday at VFW Hall in the morning, we have a coffee and donuts of veterans, and they asked me to help promote it. And I honor all the veterans out there, and thank you for your service. It touches me even to talk about it. Every Wednesday, it's free, coffee and donuts, and the veterans can go down there and talk to other veterans. And that is important, to give them that outlet right there. So that's the VFW. And in the afternoon, Caleb, you like a good hamburger?
I do like a good hamburger. Yes, sir. And some fried. Yes, I'm a burger guy.
I'm a burger guy, too. They have on Wednesdays, every Wednesday from 5 to 8, it's hamburger night at VFW Hall. They cook some of the best hamburgers. There's some great guys down there. They host people. Anybody can come. It's open to the public. They're raising money to take care of their bills and to help other charities and their charities. So there's 2 great events every Wednesday.
Donuts and coffee in the morning.
Correct.
And burgers in the evening.
Can you beat it?
You got me.
Can't
That's
beat it with a stick.
Donuts and burger. You got me there.
So I just wanted to mention that. You know, we've done some stuff at the Field of Honor, and recently, Warriors Weekend Field of Honor, honoring the troops that have lost their lives recently, of course, in Afghanistan. We prayed for our troops before that happened. That was on the same day that happened. And then we came back another day to thank those that gave their lives, those that serve our country each and every day. And we did that just recently. So these are the things that touch us and that we're a part of. And I know you represent that well.
Well, I do my best, and thank you. Thank you for coming on, and thank you from when I moved here, and you said my name at the first deal, and made me feel like I was officially part of Victoria.
That's one of the best things I've done, is to meet you and to see you in action, and you did great.
Well, thank you, sir.
You're doing great.
I'm humbled by that, and I'm grateful, and again, thank you for the tireless energy that you provide to this town. You make people's events feel official when you show up, but it's not necessarily because you're there. It's because you're there with the attitude and the spirit that you bring with it, the gratitude and the way that you lift people up and you make them feel special. That's an attribute and a skill that not everybody has, or if they have, that they choose not often to embrace. And you've embraced it, and you become a master at it. And again, thank you for what you bring to the community. You give and you serve a lot, but I don't know how often you get told thank you. So from a grateful community, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate
Kind
you.
words,
Yes,
and I appreciate that.
Yes,
and,
sir.
Let's keep working together, buddy.
Roger
okay?
that. Yes,
Love you,
sir.
Caleb. Thank you very much.
Likewise, my friend. Guys, it's been a great show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will catch you at the next one. Thanks so much for tuning in to Victoria Events with Caleb Shaw. Make sure you comment down below, like the post, share the post. It really helps the algorithms. If you haven't done so already, make sure you follow our page. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any episodes. And if you have an event coming on you want featured on Victoria Events, shoot us a message. We'd love to help you get the word out there. Lastly, make sure you support our sponsors. We could not do this show without them, so we're very grateful. Thanks so much, Victoria, and we'll see you at the next one.